devotees and attending the Lewis and Clark exposition. That same summer, Swami Trigunatitananda, another direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, paid the Portland group a visit and conducted some classes. The group was called the New Thought Group in Portland, also known as the Advanced Thought Society. In April 1918, Swami Sarvapriyananda, while traveling through the West Coast, presented 3 lectures to the students of Portland, and he did so again in 1920. Swami Sarvapriyananda arrived in San Francisco, California in September 1925 by invitation from the city of Portland, and spoke at the public library on September 23rd. He also gave a talk at the Assembly Hall at the Portland Hotel on September 30th, offering classes on Raja Yoga. The Portland students were so thrilled and inspired by his talks that soon after, on October 6, 1925, 70 Portland residents and devotees held the first meeting of the Vedanta Society of Portland at the Portland Hotel with Swami Sarvapriyananda and elected Mr. Hal Child as their president. That same year, on November 6th, Swami Sarvapriyananda and Swami Prakasananda performed a dedication ceremony in the old Kramer Building, room 616, now Southwest 2nd and Washington Street. That winter, Swami Sarvapriyananda delivered a course of 8 lectures on the Gospel of St. John. In 1926, the Society published 2 booklets of his talks. On September 9, 1927, the Society moved to a hall at Southwest 11th Avenue and produced 2 more booklets. The center also had a good fortune of Swami Sarvapriyananda's visit on June 1928. September 14, 1928, Mrs. Carrie Meade Wyckoff, Lalita of Pasadena, California, offered to deed the Vedanta Society of Portland 10 acres of land in Lake Oswego for use as an ashrama. On October 4th, the Vedanta Society of Portland became incorporated and gained legal status within the state of Oregon. However, they could not purchase the property. Swami Sarvapriyananda had to leave Portland in 1929 as he now had a full-time commitment to set up the Hollywood Vedanta Center, leaving Swami Vivekananda in charge of the growing Vedanta Center of Portland, Oregon. Times were difficult as the Great Depression swept over the nation. In January of 1930, the Board of Trustees struggled to meet even the basic expenses. By the end of March 1930, Swami Vivekananda also left Portland as he was in poor health. Thus, for the first time in 5 years, the devotees were left without a residing Swami. From mid-1930 and all of 1931, those dedicated members still met regularly in various homes of devotees. On February 14, 1932, Swami Sarvapriyananda introduced Swami Devotional at an 8 p.m. public talk. On February 16, the then president of the Vedanta Society, Mr. Ralph Ohm, appointed a committee to find a new home for the Vedanta Society. They settled on a home at 721 Northeast Halsey as the home and the temple for Swami Devotional. On April 1932, they placed advertisements in the Oregonian and publicized Swami Devotional's open discussion as the present depression and any useful purpose in life. The topic and the talk were very timely, and the Society's membership steadily grew as the Portland devotees embraced their dedicated new Swami in charge. He engaged his students in various ways: picnics, evening classes, participating in interfaith lectures, Divine Science Church, besides Sunday lectures. Now, let us celebrate the journey of the growth and the development of the Vedanta Society of Portland.
divine, oh Mother divine, oh Mother divine, I take shelter in thee. Oh Mother divine, my Mother divine, oh Mother divine, I take shelter in thee. Eyes of compassion and heart filled with love, that look of forgiveness I've always dreamt of, Durga Ma, Durga Ma. Oh Mother divine, my Mother divine, oh Mother divine, I take shelter in thee. Oh Mother divine, my Mother divine, oh Mother divine, I take shelter in thee. Oh Mother divine, my Mother divine, oh Mother divine, I take shelter in thee. Oh Mother divine, my Mother divine, oh Mother divine, I take shelter in thee. Your arms to protect me from evil and fear, your lip of forgiveness with a love that's so clear, Durga Ma, Durga Ma. Oh Mother divine, my Mother divine, oh Mother divine, I take shelter in thee. Durga, Durga, Sharade, Durga, Durga, Sharade, Sharade, Sharade. We need a chair. We're doing the Simon and Garfunkel thing. One sits and one stands. No, this is more intimate. Yeah, it is. Okay, see if we remember this song. Are we two? Close.
At the wonders of Maya's illusion, and I try to control all the waves of my mind, and I stumble amidst the confusion. Everybody sing. Let me never forget thee. Let me never forget thee. Fill my heart with undying love, and show me the way. Though I start out each day with a strong solemn vow to remove all the darkness that binds me, then I fall in the clutches of bondage once more, and the playthings of Maya they blind me. Let me never forget thee. Let me never forget thee. Fill my heart with undying love, and show me the way. Over my eyes, and I run to the pleasures in blindness, and wherever I stray, even though miles away, come and show me thy infinite kindness. Let me never forget thee. Let me never forget thee. Fill my heart with undying love, and show me the way. Everybody sing. Let me never forget thee. Let me never forget. Fill my heart with undying love, and show me the way. Come on, sing it. Let me never forget thee. Let let me never forget thee. Fill my heart with undying love, and show me the way. Yes, let me never forget thee. Let me never forget thee. Fill my heart with undying love. Now show me the way. Show me the way, please, Lord. Show me the way. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. The mic's a little higher than me, but it seems you can still hear me, so we're going to roll with it. My name is Susie. I'm a volunteer with the Vedanta Society of Portland, and it is my great pleasure and honor to welcome you on behalf of the Vedanta Society of Portland to today's extremely special and rare event. And for some of our new friends who are visiting for the first time a Vedanta event, I'm going to take a brief moment to share with you a little bit about what this is. And then stay tuned for some housekeeping announcements. And my goal today as your MC is to keep my parts brief so that we can really hear from Swami Sarvapriyananda as long as we can. So after seeking God for about 12 years, Sri Ramakrishna realized God. He initiated his spiritual consort, Sri Sharda Devi, who's here all the way at the end, also known as the Holy Mother. And their teachings are based primarily on their own experiences realizing truth, which are also supported by the Vedas, which are the ancient sacred texts of Hinduism. And that is where our name Vedanta comes from. In 1893, Swami Vivekananda, one of Sri Ramakrishna's foremost disciples, visited Chicago to participate in the Parliament of Religions. And Sri Ramakrishna is in this center picture here on the stage. Swami Vivekananda spoke of a fresh, direct approach to God, and he spoke about finding God within, about finding God in everything. It was from the warm reception of those American listeners at the Parliament of Religions, in that the seed of our Vedanta societies was born. The first was the Vedanta Society of New York, founded in 1894. Our Vedanta Society of Portland began in 1925, and ashrams and retreat centers have followed. Something you may not know is the very first Vedic temple in the United States is right here in the Pacific Northwest, in the hills of Scappoose, which is about 40 minutes from our Portland temple. There, among many acres of pristine forests, you will find shrines dedicated to many of the world's major religions, with new shrines coming almost each year. We invite everyone to visit this retreat and enjoy it. There are brochures in our lobby, and you can also visit our website at vedanta-portland.org to learn more about how you may visit the retreat and learn more about the shrines that you can experience there. Today there are Vedanta societies throughout the country and world, and we're still here in Portland, nurturing the enthusiasm of that long-standing American interest in Vedanta. And now we also serve the Indian diaspora who have brought their families and their devotion to Sri Ramakrishna to the United States. Now, as we step into this very special program, I'd like to invite you to take a moment to be sure that you've silenced your cell phone. Please keep this room quiet. And there's some special opportunities in addition to getting to listen to the wonderful talk. We have our bookstore with many sacred Vedanta stories and texts. Should you wish to have Swami Sarvapriyananda sign your book, as encouragement and blessing, you are welcome to have one book signed after the entire program has concluded. In the final 15 minutes of our program today, we'll have a Q&A session, and I'll repeat these directions at that time, but just to let you know, we'll have as many people ask a question as possible, and we'll ask you to limit yourself to one question. Keep it as succinct and clear as possible in the interest of everyone having a chance. And I'll repeat some directions as to how you can ask your question when the time is closer. So with that, I would like to invite our Minister in Charge, Swami Chandrasekharananda, our honored guest, Swami Sarvapriyananda, and Swami Devotional to please join us on stage, as well as the Vedanta Vedapatis. We are now going to start the program in earnest with a special blessing to invoke divinity. So that's what's happening on the stage now with the lighting of the lamp. So Swamiji, please join us. And everyone, welcome and thank you for coming.
कर्म साक्षी ह्यविघ्नकृत् यावत् कर्म समाप्ति स्यात् तावत् त्वं सुस्थिरो भव ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत नः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादरम् महागणपतये नमः प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामविद्यवतो वाग्देव्यै नमः यश्छन्दसामृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यवृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया शृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासम् शरीरं मे विचर्षणम् जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरि विश्रुवम् ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ मेधादेवी जुषमाना नागाद्विश्वाची भद्रा सुमनस्यमाना त्वया जुष्टानुदमानादुरुक्तान् बृहद्वजेम विदधे सुवीराः त्वया जुष्टऋषिर्भवति देवि त्वया ब्रह्मा ददश्रीरुतत्वया त्वया जुष्टश्चित्रं विन्दते वसुसारो जुषस्वद्रविणो न मेधे मेधां म इन्द्रो ददातु मेधां देवी सरस्वती मेधां मे अश्विना उभावा दत्तां पुष्करस्रजा अप्सरासु च या मेधा गन्धर्वेषु च यन्मनः दैवीं मेधा सरस्वती सामान् मेधासुरभिर्जुषतागस्वाहा आमान् मेधासुरभिर्विश्वरूपा हिरण्यवर्णा जगती जगम्या ओजस्वती पयसा पिन्वमाना सामान् मेधासु प्रतीकाजुषन्ताम् मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि अग्निस्तेजो दधातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि इन्द्र इन्द्रियं दधातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि सूर्यो भ्राजो दधातु हंस हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु
That's it. Vishnu, keep it up.
The essence of Vedanta is that there is but one being, and that every soul is that being in full, not a part of that being. Swami Vivekananda. I'll now welcome Swami Chandrasekharananda, the minister in charge of Vedanta Society of Portland, to introduce Swami Sarvapriyananda.
Shri Gurubhyo Namah Harihi Om Sahanavatu Sahanu Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavai Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sthapakaya Dharmasya सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः ॐ यथाग्निर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता ह्या सर्वविद्यास्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम् ॐ परतत्त्वे सदा लीनो रामकृष्णसमाज्ञया यो धर्म स्थापन रतो वीरेशं तं नमाम्यहम्. May we be protected, may we be nourished, may we strive with energy and vigor, may our striving, may our effort be fulfilling and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. My salutations to the great teacher Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sri Sharada Devi, and world teacher Swami Vivekananda. Dear Swami Sarvapriyananda ji, and my dear brother Swami Devishananda, and dear friends. We have gathered here, as you know, the world works on demand and supply. So our heart wanted something, and it should be supplied. So many of our friends, they wanted to have Swami Sarvapriyananda. And now he is here. The name Sarvapriya means he is dear to everyone. And he is really dear to everyone. Even our General Secretary Maharaj, the executive head of our Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission, also praises him. It's not that his age-wise he is a younger brother, but otherwise he is really a teacher, wonderful teacher. We have three kinds of teachings. First, we go to schools and colleges to have academic education. And we learn something, we learn some principles that so many times it is not helpful. Second, we have skill education, like how to use our hands and intellect. So that is another type of education that is also very good. It develops our intellect. And somehow we use that also. We understand this world in a better way. Then comes another kind of education, that is moral and ethical education. Why we should be a better human being? Why should I behave in a better way? But there is another kind of education that is very important. That means the strength that is already within us, it should be manifested. One American president said, yes, we will go to moon. And we have that capacity. And if we strive, we can go there. And America went there. So it is the strength that is already within us that is to be manifested. But this is only physical. We have something more, very precious, that is already within us. As Swami says, Swami Vivekananda says, each soul is potentially divine. And to manifest this divinity is the goal of life. Do it by work or worship or psychic control or knowledge and be free. That's the whole of religion. So this is already within us. But that is not invoked. We need a teacher to invoke that strength that is already within us. Spiritual strength. And here comes Swami Sarvapriyananda. Especially in this modern world, we experienced COVID, and then human effort was not stopped there. So technology came to our assistance. And we have mass media, mass communication tools of mass communications. And one of them is YouTube. So Swamiji is dearly called YouTube Swami. And wherever you go in the world, some people are listening his talks. And with all attention, with all sincerity, even if in front of some deities, burning the incense sticks, etc. In our mythology, or we can say itihas, not mythology exactly, Ramayana, there is a character, Jambuvan. So Hanuman could do something, that he could leap that ocean. But he thought he cannot. So we needed a teacher who could invoke the capacity that is already within us, within him, within Hanuman. And he did it. So, this tertiary education, that means to invoke the divinity, it's not ordinary job. It is not understood by ordinary people. Only very few people can understand this. Because this is Raj Vidya, Raj Guhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam. It is very, very subtle. And it's very difficult to understand. Anuranyan, Mahato Mahiyan. It is subtler than the subtlest and the bigger than the biggest. So this education, and to convey that which is understandable, which is comprehensible. So it is not a small skill. It's very difficult. And he has that capacity. And secondly, Bhagavan Sri Krishna said in Gita, wherever you find, wherever beauty, splendor, power, glory is seen, know it has sprung from me, and it is but a spark of my splendor. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattam sri mat urjitameva. So whatever splendor that we see in this world, see, light is everywhere. Here, light is everywhere. But when there is reflector, then only we can recognize. See, here also is light. When I lift this, then only you can see the light. So he is such a teacher, then he'll capacitate you to understand that truth, which is everywhere, within you. So such a wonderful teacher is with us. I am very happy to present before you and my dear brother. So it is my honor to welcome him.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om peace, peace, peace. Namaste and good evening, everybody. I am especially grateful to Swami Chandrasekharananda for organizing this wonderful event, for inviting me to your beautiful city. I was just admiring the first flashes of fall colors there. To this beautiful center. You must go and visit it, the Vedanta Society of Portland. And this beautiful hall in this wonderful temple. Swami Devotional, senior members of the Vedanta Society, some of whom I recognize, and lots of new faces. Welcome to this event. And I also must specially thank the wonderful kids who did such a wonderful job of chanting the Meda Suktam. This was really well done. Are you all able to hear me clearly? Yeah. Okay. The subject this evening, you might have seen, is one existence appearing as many. It's actually a talk given by Swami Vivekananda in New York in 1896. Among the many, many powerful talks he gave, there are two which struck me as reading and rereading them recently. One is called the free soul, and immediately after that, this talk, the one existence appearing as many. I think they are meant to be read together. So in the third volume of Swami Vivekananda's complete works, you will find these two talks, the free soul in New York, 1896, and one existence appearing as many, New York, 1896. So what I'm going to do here right now for the next few minutes is to think together upon some insights into spiritual life that Swami Vivekananda has given. And then we will take some questions. There won't be time for too many questions, but we'll take some questions. So here goes. Maybe because it was a series of talks, or I do not know for what reason, but this talk given by Vivekananda starts rather abruptly. He starts in a strange way. He starts with renunciation. The first sentence in that talk was, the turning point in yoga comes with renunciation. And then he goes on to talk about the renunciation. And vairagya, dispassion, tyaga, various words are there. The renunciation of the karma yogi, the renunciation of the bhakti yogi, the renunciation of the raja yogi, and the renunciation of the jnana yogi. What he says is this: the karma yogi's renunciation consists in giving up this pursuit of selfishness and into work, not to give up the work itself, but to work selflessly. The bhakti yogi's renunciation consists in giving up all these little desires we have for the world into one almighty love for God. So that's the renunciation of the bhakti yogi, the lover of God. The raja yogi's renunciation consists in giving up all experiences for that one God experience. And the jnana yogi's renunciation, Vivekananda says, is the hardest of all, because the jnana yogi denies the reality of this physical world or the mental world and says, goes straight to that underlying divinity, one existence, consciousness, bliss. Now, what is Vivekananda doing here? I think he is giving us the essence of spirituality. It may be a bitter pill to swallow, but our pursuit of happiness in this world is not working. It's not working. It hasn't worked in this life, it hasn't worked for many lives in the past. No matter how old or young you are. If you are, some are 10 years old here, some are 60, 70, 80 years old. But one thing we can say is that after a lifetime devoted, trying in many ways to make this one happy, I, me, myself, how much have I got? How much have I got? How much lasting, deep fulfillment, sense of security, feeling of fulfillment, feeling of accomplishment, joy, peace of mind, how much have I got now? Nothing seems to be enough. So this turning from self-seeking, seeking to be happy through material pleasures, through selfish pursuits, towards a higher kind of happiness. This turning away, this is the crucial turning point. I think this is what Vivekananda means. In traditional Hinduism, we speak about the four goals of human life. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The pursuit of pleasure and achievement in this life within the bounds of morality and ethics. That's dharma, artha, kama. So that's one kind of religion. And religion helps you in that. Shankaracharya, in his introduction to his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, he starts off by saying, Dvivido vedokta dharma pravritti lakshana nivritti lakshanascha. The Vedic religion has these two sides. One is the religion which will help you in this world, engagement in life, and help you in living a better, more sustainable, more fulfilling life here. That's one kind of religion. And God will help you. Will help you in being healthy and having a good family and community and your career and prosperity and so on and so forth. I often say it's not true here in Portland, but Manhattan, God will also help you find parking, which is one of the main goals of life in Manhattan. So it's one kind of life, one kind of religion. And it's not just the Vedic religion which does this. Every religion does it. Every religion does it. If you go to mosques and temples and churches, most people are praying for God's help in this life. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. We are in this life and we need help. And religion is one of the greatest help there is in this life. I mean, I could go into it. I was in Washington, D.C. a few months ago, invited by the American Psychiatry Association. Crisis of mental health in this country. And there, they say one of the places we are running to for help is leaders of faith leaders of religion. So, in many ways, mental, moral, even physical and emotional and economic, environmental, in many ways, religion can be and is of help in our life. Definitely is. I mean, if you go to the temple, we are in a temple. If you go to the temple and ask them when people come and offer pujas and rituals, are they there for nirvana, enlightenment, moksha? Not really, not most of them. Most of them are here for this worldly help, blessings in life from God. So that's one kind of religion. There's another kind of religion, and that is the higher religion, which I would like to call spirituality. In Vedic religions, it is called moksha. Another name is nivritti lakshana dharma. So turning away from this and seeking a higher fulfillment. Swami Vivekananda points out that there are different paths, different ways of doing this. See, basically, what's going on here is that we are interested in religion in two ways. One is, I want religion and God to help me in this life. Make this life, give me courage, give me support, make things easier for me, sort of be on my side in my projects in this life. And that works, it does. But there is another kind of religion, call it spirituality, the higher religion, where we want our life to be for God. So when Vivekananda, Narendranath Datta, in the late 19th century, he set out in Calcutta meeting different religious teachers, spiritual masters. His question was, have you seen God? Not how God can help me in my examinations or getting a job, not like that, but have you seen God? When the Buddha left his home, his palace, his family, and became a wandering monk, he was seeking enlightenment. How do we go beyond all suffering? Is there a solution to this problem at all? So that is the higher spirituality. And we are interested in that. Vedanta is interested in that. How do you do that? And Vivekananda talks about his famous 4 yogas. What Vivekananda has done is take all the various, many ways of spiritual practice and seeking and broadly classify them under 4 heads. The 4 yogas. The Karma Yoga. We notice that all our activities in life, whether in family, in our personal life, in your education, in your job, in your community, they're mostly self-seeking. I want happiness for myself, and that's why I'm trying it. Spirituality tells us you reverse it. When you work, don't give up the work, but when you work for the welfare of others, selflessly, that expansion of the self which takes place, not just I, me, myself. That expansion of the self which takes place, that is spiritual. So that constitutes one kind of renunciation. And no longer working for myself, but working for, call it God realization, enlightenment, selfless. Not for, still there is a goal. Remember, many people get confused. So Swami, in Karma Yoga, I don't have any goal, any purpose. But without any goal, without any purpose, why would anybody do anything at all? If I'm not working for myself and my family, then why should I work at all? So there is a goal, there is a purpose, but that purpose is no longer earning money for myself. You can still enjoy your salary, but it might be that I am seeking God by serving God in all these beings, at home, in the office, in the community, and so on. A classic case is Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. In the Gita, when he comes to the battlefield ready to fight. And his goals are pretty clear. He is fighting against the bad guys, that's his duty as a warrior. He is fighting for the kingdom that was righteously belonged to his brother and to his other brothers. He is fighting to right the wrongs done to his wife Draupadi, and so on. But what happens is, he loses interest in all those worldly goals. The first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is a transition. He says, I don't want to do this, I don't want to kill people for these selfish reasons, no matter how good. So why should we fight the battle of life if not for personal goals? So Krishna persuades him that there is a higher goal. There is God realization, enlightenment, moksha, nirvana, whatever you call it. And pursuing it, you still have to work, you still have to be engaged in life. And that becomes karma yoga. Bhakti yoga. When does devotion to God? So we all have faith in God. We all have belief in God, most of us. That's why people come to a temple, they come to churches, mosques. They have faith in God. But as I said, there can be in two ways. One is my love of God, so God will help me. God for my life. God is a convenience, much like a washing machine or your Wi-Fi or your car. A convenience in life. God helps you. That's one kind of love God. But here, the higher spirituality, Bhakti Yoga, is my life for God, not God for my life. What do I want? I'm not using God to improve my life. I'm using my life to seek God, to find God. So the 100 different streams, the 1,000 streams in which our desires flow out to the world. Just recently, what Black Friday or something, you will see people queuing up. Now they don't even queue up, buy online, all sorts of stuff. So this is 1,000 different desires which flow out to the world. The renunciation to take all of that desire, all of that wanting, I want, and to channelize it towards God, into, as Vivekananda says, one almighty love of God. One focused love of God. It's the same I want. You see, that which going out to the world, I want this, I want that. It's the same I want, just the world is pushed out and God is put in front. So it's the same force. That's why people ask, why is it that I can love God and be worldly at the same time? Why can't you be spiritual and worldly? I remember going to a meeting organized by this person, brilliant young man, very popular public speaker, also a multi-millionaire. So he's a spiritual teacher also. Now I was talking to some people who attended this young person's most impressive person, his talks, his classes. And one man said, this man is my goal. I want to be a multi-millionaire and become enlightened too. Who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want that? Now this person I'm talking about is genuinely spiritual. I mean, I met him, I spoke with him. I was also very impressed. But the problem is, when you have a lot of things everybody wants. So they look up at you, and yes, I would like to be as spiritual as you, but you also have millions of dollars, and you have this and that. I want that too. Who doesn't want this? But it is not possible. Why is it not possible? Because as I said, it is the same desiring, it is the same I want. I want the world, I want God. You have to replace the word with God. Otherwise your wanting gets split. However, of course, the path of bhakti is often said to be easier because you don't have to start off right away by saying, all right, I don't have any worldly goals, I have only a goal of enlightenment, God realization. That might be difficult. So bhakti makes a great concession. It says, just start. Just add God to your to-do list. You have about 10 things to do, 100 things to do. It might even be, dog might be important, even God might come after dog. But add God to your list and see the miracle that happens. Slowly God takes over your life, and that's a good thing. That's bhakti, the renunciation of bhakti yoga. In Raja Yoga, meditation, Patanjali Yoga, the goal is to calm down the mind, to turn inwards, and in the calm, meditative mind, which is absorbed in samadhi, to realize God. Vivekananda puts it in, this is the language a fully enlightened being can use. The power in that language and the insight. We all know, in Patanjali Yoga, what's the goal? Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. The basic principle is, you settle down the fluctuations of the mind, the thoughts in the mind, and absolute calmness, and the reality which is within, your real nature, the Atman, the Purusha, it will become clear. So that's the basic principle of Patanjali Yoga. Everybody knows this. The goal is meditation, samadhi, and through that, enlightenment. But look at how Vivekananda puts it. He says the Raja Yogi renounces, the theme is renunciation, renounces all experiences of nature for that one God experience. I'm paraphrasing here. This is the language of a person who has actually done it and experienced. And that's also an insight on how one should meditate. when you sit quietly and turn inwards, settle your body, make your breathing slow and rhythmic, close your eyes in a peaceful environment, turn inwards. The principle is, I am giving up all experiences that my senses can provide, my mind can provide. I am not, my eyes want to see. I say I am not interested. I close my eyes. My ears want to hear. I am not interested. My eyes, to taste, to touch, to smell. I am not interested. Shut down. My mind wants now to think, to remember either nice things which had happened in the past, or expecting nice things to happen in the future. That's a great source of pleasure. Expectation of something nice happening. Hasn't happened yet, but that is very pleasurable to think about that. The mind projects. Groucho Marx, he had insights into human character. He said, we are always slipping on banana peels. Either we slip forward or we slip backwards. Slip backwards means go back into the past. Either in regret, or those were the days, glory and wonderful. Or we're slipping forward in expectation of something nice happening, or in fear and anxiety of, what could happen, uneasy, unhappy. So shut down the mind also, tell the mind, I am not interested. This is renunciation. You're giving up. Nature, the world is saying, I will show you things you can see, hear, smell, taste, touch. I will give you things to think about and remember and desire and hope and, shut it all down. That's an insight into deep meditation. Then you will see the mind will turn inward tremendous force and be centered. That's the renunciation of the Raja Yogi. And then Vivekananda says, Jnana Yogi, non-dualist says, in any case this world is an appearance of this body is an appearance, the mind is an appearance, thought, matter, energy, they're all radiance of one central reality, which I am, aham brahmasmi. So deny all of that. That's the greatest renunciation straight away. Then Vivekananda segues into an interesting discussion. Why at all should we do this? This doesn't sound very appealing. What's the point of all of this? If I go to a temple and ask God to help me, I can still understand the point of it. That I want some peace of mind, I want maybe my financial problems to be solved, my relationship problems to be solved, my tax problems to be solved. So I need God's help there. That's understandable. But all this renunciation, to what point? In aid of what? In aid of the same pursuit of happiness. Why do we do anything in life? Vivekananda says that which gives us happiness, we find utility in it. Whatever activity, whatever gadget, whatever home and people, books, whatever gives me happiness, I find utility in it. And the great insight is, in none of these ways am I finding deep, lasting happiness. And the claim of spirituality is, all kinds of spirituality in every religion, and Vedanta also, is that real happiness will come through God realization or enlightenment. So, happiness, I find that not in the body, in matter, not in the mind, in the mental universe, but in the spirit, in consciousness, in Brahman, in God. Then Vivekananda goes straight into the central teaching of Vedanta, which is our inner divinity and the oneness of all existence. In fact, if you go away from this talk, carry only one word, it would be oneness. This is the word you can keep in your mind, which will encompass all of what Vivekananda wanted to say, all of what Vedanta wants to tell us. Vivekananda says, it's a unique presentation of Vedanta. So we are all born monists. We always see one. With the senses we see matter. The same reality, we see it as matter. With the eyes we see forms, with the ears we hear sound, with we smell, we taste, we touch. And all this, forms and sounds and smells and flavors and the touch, all of this is matter. This is our experience of material universe. That same reality, at a higher level of development or, when we are more refined, we experience as mind, as thought, as feeling, as emotion, as understanding, as memory, as ego. There is mind, the word of mind. And then he says, finally, in truth, ultimately, this one reality is finally revealed to us as God, the God of religion, or the absolute of Vedanta, existence, consciousness, bliss. And the central teaching of Vedanta is, you are that oneness. Tattvamasi. You are that oneness. He pulls no punches, he goes straight to that truth. There is one existence in this universe. See, all our suffering comes from seeing difference. In Upanishad says, Dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati. From the second, from the existence of the second, the appreciation of the second, comes all fear. Desire comes from that, fear comes from that, lack of fulfillment comes from that. I, and see the other person, the other thing which is something other than me, money, achievement, Facebook likes. Those are all second, something apart from me. Vivekananda says all of these things are dead in themselves. We breathe life into them, and then we either chase them or we run away from them. This world is like a series of pictures presented before us. And we run after me, we make a whole samsara out of it. And he says, this material universe, this mental universe, and ultimately the spiritual universe, it is one reality. It's the same thing seen at different levels. At one level, it is body. For the most gross kind of human being, and for animals, it's body. As we evolve, no, our existence is not so much in the body, it's in the mind. Most of us, I think all of us here, nobody really thinks we are a bundle of flesh and bones and blood. We think we are persons, we are minds, we have ideas and memories and desires, personal projects, a personal story. We are persons. That's living at the level of the mind. And then spirituality tells us, Vedanta tells us, even this is not your real nature. Your real, the greatest truth, the deepest truth of our real nature is you are not the body, not the mind, but you are Atman, consciousness, existence, consciousness, bliss. When Shankaracharya sings, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, I am of the nature of consciousness, I am the nature of bliss. But before that, what does he sing? Manobuddhya hankara chittanina. What does that mean? I am not the mind, not the intellect, not the memory, not the ego. So you have to transcend, rise above that and see that even these things are exterior. The body and the mind. Our existence is not just a physical existence. Our existence is not just a mental existence. But deeper and more really, our existence is a spiritual existence. Now, the way the classical Vedanta put it was, the world is an appearance, the body and mind is an appearance, you are existence, consciousness, bliss. You move from an appearance to reality, from falsity to reality. In Vedanta, we say, Mithyat Satyam. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Brahman is real, the world is an appearance. Vivekananda puts it in positive terms. He says, not from falsity to reality. He says, we move from lower truth to higher truth. We move from lower truth to higher truth. It is not false that we have a body. The body is the truth. And woe betide anybody who denies that we are a body. Body will bite back. It can bite back. One of our senior Swami said, do not abuse the horse you cannot dismount from. Don't abuse the horse anyway. But the point being, yes, it is true. Our reality is not the body, but the body is also a reality. So it's a lower truth. And the higher truth of that is that we are the mind. Mind, the intellect, the emotions, our emotional life, intellectual life, moral, ethical life, and so on, artistic life. And then even higher, the final truth is we are spirit, we are consciousness, we are one with God. In spirituality, it has these stages also. At every stage you can be spiritual. Our spiritual approach changes. Hanuman was asked by Ramachandra, what do you think of me? How do you understand me? So God is asking the jiva, sentient being, how do you understand me? Hanuman, who was the greatest of bhaktas and the greatest of jnanis, he says, Deha buddhya dasoham. As this body, I am your servant. Jiva buddhya tvadanshaka, as a sentient being, as a mind. The next level. You are the whole, I am your part. Then he says, Atma buddhya tvamevaham. As the Atman, as pure consciousness, as existence consciousness bliss, you and I are one reality. Which is true? Which one is true? Am I your servant, or am I a part of God, or am I one with God? All of them are true. Iti me nishchita mati. So this is my firm conviction. Hanuman says this. And Sri Ramakrishna would often approve, to quote this story, tell this story approvingly. All of these are valid ways of looking at spiritual life. The first one is the dualistic approach. The Lord is my master, I am the servant. Whatever I do in life, everything that I do in life is my service of the Lord. Karma yoga. And from metaphysically speaking, it is dualism, Dvaita Vedanta, the school of Dvaita Vedanta. Or if you go to Jiva Buddhya, as this one sentient being, I am your part and you are the whole. That is the Vishishtadvaita, qualified monism. And the relationship of devotion is set up, bhakti. And we go further. Atma Buddhya Tvamevaham. Even when I realize what I am, not the body. As my idea of myself changes, that's a good way of putting it. As my idea of myself changes, so my idea of the world, so my idea of you, and so my idea of God also changes. As I begin to realize I am not the body. The body is there, but I am not literally the body. I am not even the mind, not even literally the mind, not the person. But I am this limitless, beginningless, changeless radiance, one consciousness, to which the world, body and mind all appear. When I realize that, my next realization will be, so are you. As long as you think of yourself as a body, everybody else is a body to you. As long as we think of ourselves as persons, everybody else is a person to you. And that's where most of us are right now. We think of ourselves as persons, and we say these are all persons. And when we realize ourselves as the Atman, when we realize everybody else is also Atman, when we realize our identity with the divine, we realize everybody else is also divine. Atma Buddhya Tvamevaham. So our idea of ourselves changes, our idea of the world changes, and our idea of God changes. Our idea of our relationship with God changes. I am a devotee, thou art my Lord. I am the servant, thou art my master. This is one kind of relationship. You are the whole of which I am a part. So you are the divine. I am like a spark of fire from a bonfire. As thousands of sparks emanate from one fire, so are we all from one vast divine bonfire. Or even further, I and thou, we are one reality. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that reality. When I was reading Vivekananda's lecture, I was reminded of the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna, he says, this entire universe, you can think of it in three ways. The Sanskrit terms are Kshara Purusha, Akshara Purusha, Purushottama. So he says, all this ever-changing world, the world and our bodies which are born and age and die. Krishna says, this is also I. This is Kshara Purusha. This is the ever-changeable display of this divine munificence. And if you go further, there is one God, Saguna Brahman, Ishvara, with the power of Maya, which creates this entire thing. Akshara, the imperishable divinity. And if you go beyond that, there is an ultimate absolute existence consciousness bliss, where we are all one reality. And Krishna says, I am all of that. I am the Kshara, and the Akshara, and the Purushottama. This physical manifestation, same divinity manifesting as the physical world and our bodies. This world of mind, thoughts, feelings, emotions, that same divinity manifesting at a higher level, subtler level. And then finally, the one divinity of the spirit of existence, consciousness, bliss. So Vivekananda asks, so what happens to our general ideas of religion? That we are born and we die and we are these, Atman, Jivatmas, this sentient being which migrates from lifetime to lifetime. Vivekananda says, these are all stages of understanding. The ultimate understanding is that there is one existence, there is oneness. The further we are from our understanding of oneness, the more we are in samsara, more suffering is there. As I said earlier, suffering, samsara, is rooted in the sense of otherness, that they are other than me. The French philosopher, existentialist Sartre, he said, hell is other people. Hell is other people. As we grow in spiritual life, the other does not seem very much an other to me anymore. You feel one with everybody. Whether you know them or you do not know them. One sign of a spiritual person is you immediately feel a sense of oneness with that person. That person always seems to be on your side, a person who understands you. Often the person is more like a pool of clear water, like a clean mirror, where you are reflected. And that person doesn't seem to have a separate, limited personality which can clash with you. So you have this sense of oneness with the spiritual person. Vivekananda takes it to the pinnacle. It reminds me of Gaudapada in Mandukya Karika, who says, what's the ultimate truth about spiritual life? Yes, one level of truth is there is God, and this is the world, and we are here, and we should be devoted to God. Another level of truth is that, no, it is all God, and we are part of it. We are part of a divine play. We are part of a divine manifestation. But the ultimate truth, according to Gaudapada, who was Shankaracharya's guru's guru, is this wonderful verse from the Mandukya Karika, which resonates a lot with what Vivekananda says here. Na nirodho na chutpatti, na baddho na cha sadhaka, na mukto na mumukshuhu, ityesha paramarthata. What does he say? This universe, yes, what about it? There is no end to samsara. There is no end to this universe. We are taken aback. But we thought moksha, nirvana, freedom is possible. That's why we have gathered in large numbers to listen. And Gaudapada says there is no end to it. Why? Because there was no beginning. It never started. Nacha utpatti. See, something that starts can end. Gaudapada dismisses samsara, this world which we are trying to so-called escape from, get liberation from. He dismisses it completely. He says it was never born. It's like saying, how do I remove? The sky is blue, so how do I remove? Do I scrub it? It never was blue. It's an appearance. There is a snake which appears, classic example of snake in the rope. How do I drive away the snake? Do I chase it with a stick, or do I make loud noises? No, you just realize it was never a snake. It was a rope. So he says there is no end to this samsara because there is no beginning at all. It never began. Brahman alone existed. And then he goes further. But what about us? We are trapped in samsara. That's why we are interested in spiritual life. Nabadha. Nobody is trapped in samsara. But then, what about these people who are practicing spiritual disciplines for freedom? Nasadhaka. There's nobody practicing spiritual disciplines. No, but we are mumukshus. We are seeking moksha. Moksha is the term used in Vedanta for those who seek moksha. No mumukshu. There's nobody who is seeking freedom. But at least there are people who are enlightened. Look, there are people who are enlightened. You, Gaudapada, you must be enlightened to say such crazy stuff. It sounds very cool, so you must be really enlightened. He says, Navai muktaha. There is nobody who is enlightened and free. What is this nonsense? Ityesha paramarthata. This is the ultimate truth. But the ultimate truth means, as Vivekananda says, there is this one underlying existence which always was, is, and always will be, which appears as all this. How does that help us? Once we come to know of it, once we make it a living reality for ourselves, then even in this life, we will continue to be in this life. This will keep on appearing. Nothing will change here. And yet, for the first time, we will feel free, we will be at ease, we will be at peace. We will feel secure. When Vivekananda came here to the United States, he met at that time, this great agnostic. His name was Robert Ingersoll. In fact, Yale University Press just recently, 10 years back, published a book, The Great Agnostic. So Ingersoll would go around giving talks. He was a popular speaker, and he would dismiss all religion. He said, I don't believe in all this. He said to Vivekananda, I don't believe in all this. I believe in this life, and making the most of this life. I want to squeeze the orange of this life dry, take every drop of it. Vivekananda said to him, I believe that too. Only in my choice of fruit I differ. For you it's orange, for me it's a mango. But he said, look, I know that I cannot die. Therefore I am not in a hurry. I know that all are God, and imagine my enjoyment of living with God and enjoying God in every possible way. Look upon life in this way, he said to Ingersoll, and get 10,000-fold more, get every last drop from it. Vedanta, in the last analysis, it's not something that takes you away from life. It teaches us an infinitely more wise way of living in this world and beyond. It frees us for the first time. We are no longer, we don't, as somebody said, most people live lives of quiet desperation. We'll stop living lives of quiet desperation. We'll be free for the first time to relax, to let out a deep breath and see that it is wonderful and to live lives of blessedness and be of help to others. Otherwise, Vivekananda draws a very stark picture. He says, all this is fine, but when we look at the stark, brutal reality of our life, how we are driven and tortured by this world. His rhetoric is so powerful. He says, look at our lives. Slave to the body, slave to the mind, slave to a good word, slave to a bad word, slave to the world, slave to passion, slave to life, slave to death. How the body, we may say, I'm not the body, we keep on saying it, but a little illness, a little pain, a little, bad diagnosis by a doctor, and we are so anxious about the body. Why? This is a kind of slavery. Even worse is the slavery to the mind. The mind, who was it? Milton, he said, the mind in its own place can make a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven. The mind, by generating its anxieties, its terrors, its projects, its desires, its lack of fulfillment, it can turn a heaven into hell. Slave to the mind, slave to a good word, a little bit of praise. I don't know, maybe most of us, those who at least belong to a little earlier generation, we are saved from a new fresh kind of hell which has been generated. I hear of people crazy about social media. Many people get addicted to it, and tremendous unhappinesses, ups and downs, just because someone didn't get likes or someone didn't have Facebook friends or whatnot. This is a virtual hell, and it's not real also. At least I could understand if there was some real problem. There isn't. It's an invented problem. But causing no less suffering, causing enormous amount of suffering. Slave to the mind. Slave to a good word, slave to a bad word, a little bit of criticism. We become so upset. Little bit of criticism. We as a psychologist, he put it this way very beautifully. He said that the way we behave is crazy. If we were told what we are doing, we would say that's crazy, but we do it. For example, we behave on the assumption everybody must be constantly nice to me. We say, no, I don't say that, but you behave like that. There's a little bit, somebody sometimes behaves badly with you, we feel instantly bad, we feel instantly upset, and we remember it. We remember. All the stuff that our teachers and professors have drilled into us in school and college is all forgotten, most of it. But we remember this. And we obsess over it, we think about it, we fall into a rage, we go into a depression and anger. All of it is delusion, a mass of delusion. The moment you fall asleep, it's all gone. It's something generated by the mind. Slave to a bad word. One word can turn your life upside down. Slave to life, slave to death. Vivekananda says, even life and death, life itself is a delusion, death itself is a delusion. Not that life is a delusion, then death is reality. No, both are delusion. Clinging on to life, delusion. Desiring death, I'll kill myself. Life is so awful, delusion. It's like, I prefer day, I don't like the night. Okay, so I'll wrap up now. We have one more word and I'll be done. So when you say, I prefer day and I don't like the night, go to the sun. In the sun there is neither day or night. Like that, you are the sun. You are existence, consciousness, bliss. Life and death are like plays which come before you and disappear. So Vivekananda says, Hear these truths again and again and again. Contemplate these truths. Think about it. Make it real. Notice that it is real. It sounds strange and new, but make it a fact. It is a fact for us. Recognize it to be a fact. And then try to meditate upon it. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Hear these truths, reflect upon it, and meditate upon it till it becomes a living reality and our lives are blessed and we become a blessing to everybody else. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me a patient hearing. MC will tell us what's next.
Thank you. So now we're going to move into the Q&A portion, and I'll give some instructions, and then those who would like to ask questions can move. So first, the instructions. Please take a look. We have 2 microphones. There's one there in the aisle. It's about midway back.
Just I can see it right there.
Okay. And then, Arnab, would you please wave? By Arnab, there's a handheld mic. So whichever mic you're closest to, kindly, slowly, graciously, with awareness of your fellow human beings, make your way to the closest mic to you, and we'll alternate, Swamiji,
Yes.
from mic to mic. And then I'll come back on stage when it's the time for the final question, and we'll carry on with our program. So for questions, you may ask one question. And please keep it succinct as possible so that everyone, as many as possible, can ask their question. And then after you ask your question into the microphone, kindly make your way back to your seat so the next person can get prepared. Thank you.
All right. I think we can start in this. Tell us your name and ask the question.
Sure. My name is Abhijit. Thank you, Swamiji, so much for your lecture. I have one question. If Brahman is in everything, everywhere, all the time, most of the spiritual paths ask us to go towards good than bad. I kind of have some understanding of it. It's probably because the bad pulls you away, outwards, while the good pulls you inward. I would like your reflections on this.
That's a very good question. Those who have come for the question, all right, so that's it. We will put a cap there because I don't think we'll be able to deal with any more questions. We're just, there are 5 or 6, 4 or 5 here and 4 or 5 there. Good question. The question is, if everything is Brahman, if everything is God, then what is the distinction between the good and the bad? We are always told to go towards the good. Do good. Do's and don'ts are there in every religion. Do good, avoid evil. Now, how would you distinguish between good and bad if everything is ultimately God? The answer was there in the question itself. See, that everything is God is the ultimate truth. Actually, God alone is. It is an appearance as good and evil. But the evil appearance is much further away from God, and the good appearance is closer to God. And therefore, to move from the immoral to the moral, it takes us closer to God. See, it's not enough to say that everything is God. Because our purpose is to overcome suffering, attain peace, attain fulfillment. So if I say everything is God, and so I'll be this lazy couch potato, that's also God, right? And I will watch TV all day long and relax and be irresponsible and do whatever I like, say whatever I like, be nasty to people. That's also God, right? It's all part of being God. We'll just keep maximizing our unhappiness. And, in principle, that's also God. So you should be fine with that, but we are not. We are not fine with unhappiness. We are not fine with misery and pain. And we very clearly want peace and happiness and fulfillment. And we really want to be of use to ourselves and to others also. In that case, you move from the immoral to the moral. From Vivekananda gave some tests of truth. That which is selfish is immoral. That which is selfless is moral. That which makes you weaker, avoid as poison. That which makes you stronger, take that up. That which unites is true. That which divides is false. So all of that may be the manifestation of the same divinity, but they are not equally useful to us, since we have something to accomplish. The fully enlightened person, from that person's perspective, They're perfectly fine with life. They're perfectly fine with the death of the body also. It does not faze them at all in their own case. But in the case of others, they would try to be as helpful as possible so that they are led to the truth and enlightenment. All right, the question there. Please tell us your name and ask the question. I think the kid has a question. Yes, tell us your name and ask the question.
My name is Shikha. Thank you very much for this talk. You've been highly impactful in my life for the past 13 years since YouTube. I want to know some day-to-day tips or things I can do in my day to make Aham Brahmasmi not so delusional and more real.
Yes. Day to day. What do we do every day? I would say from Swami Vivekananda's teachings, fill our lives with the 4 yogas. Fill our lives with the 4 yogas. First of all, we're going to work anyway. You have yourself to take care of, family to take care of, probably you hold a job. So all of that, these are your fields of action. Can I convert these actions into spiritual practice? That I make it an offering to God. So that's one thing we can do. In our so-called secular activity, can I convert the secular activity into spiritual practice? So that's one thing. The second thing is the regular practice of meditation. At least twice in a day, to calm down and still the mind. If you have got mantra diksha, if you have not, I would encourage you to talk with Swamiji here, and he can guide you towards mantra diksha. It's a very powerful way of calming or stilling the mind. Third is the practice of devotion in some form, whether it is Krishna or Kali or Narayana or Jesus, whatever your religion is, whatever, have a personal relationship with God, bhakti. And finally, this inquiry into who am I? So a regular study of Vedanta. Take up text after text and go through it. So these are the things which is more than enough to fill our days with. There's a lot to be done. Yes.
Hello, Swamiji. My name is Shantanu. Thanks for your kind words, first of all. My question is, the physics or the science says that the entire universe is made up of some fundamental particles, and the science has not proven the existence of Atman, or it has not yet established its presence, right? So the question is, do you think science will get there eventually, or the Vedanta will be outside, always will be outside the realm of science? Thank you.
That is a little difficult to answer. You're right. Science talks about reality as being a material reality. So there is matter, energy, time, space, and this is what is real. Not your Atman, Brahman, God, none of that. Because none of that is detectable in this range. Yet, there are certain issues here. One is, and this is not my field, so I will not go in too deep because I don't understand it, but it seems cutting-edge physics, both cosmology and, say, particle physics, has come to a point where it is not, they cannot complete it. It's still, there are huge inconsistencies. So that's one area. Those who study physics, they know about it. Another important area which I am interested in is consciousness. So we are all conscious. All of us are aware. Consciousness. Yet what is consciousness in scientific terms? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And that's become a hot topic in the last 20 years. It's one of the most important questions in science now. The hard problem of consciousness. David Chalmers, who is in NYU, the mind-brain consciousness unit there, he coined this term, this phrase, the hard problem of consciousness. See, scientists, in general, they say that mainstream science believes that consciousness, whatever it is, must be generated by the brain. So how? How is something physical, just like this is physical, this is also physical. None of these things have any internal state. Everything about them can be studied as third person, as an object. But somehow this brain seems to have an internal state which is not objective, which cannot be studied objectively. Consciousness, awareness. And consciousness, awareness is most important because that's what makes our life possible. The fact that you can hear what I'm saying, you can see me, you can think, you can feel, you have a question, all of that is because you are a conscious being. Not possible otherwise. So what is this consciousness? So very important to our lives. Science has absolutely not only no idea, nowhere to begin also. That's very strange. So there are theories now, they're struggling hard. There was this recent article about a bet between two scientists, between Christoph Koch and David Chalmers. 25 years ago, 1998 or so, they had a bet. The bet was that the rate at which brain science is advancing, within 25 years we'll have a breakthrough and we'll be able to explain consciousness, or at least have a major breakthrough in explaining consciousness through brain. And that would go towards validating the materialist explanation of everything. And David Chalmers said, you won't, you can't. 25 years passed and they're forgotten about the bet. Somebody reminded them 2 months ago that the 25 years is complete now. And the jury was out and they came to a unanimous conclusion, no breakthrough. We have no further along in understanding consciousness in terms of brain. Brain science is advanced, neuroscience is advanced, many more things scientists know now. But as far as the problem of consciousness is concerned, no advance. And so Christoph Koch had to give a case of champagne or something to David Chalmers. And he said, we need 25 more years. And he said, I won't live more than that, so 25 more years. But David Chalmers says, you cannot. You cannot, because consciousness cannot be reduced to brain. That is the interesting thing which Vivekananda points out. And he says, it is the same reality. It is seen either as body, as material reality, universe, or as mind, or as consciousness, or Atman. Which means, I was thinking about it, which means, see, this is not our usual understanding. Right now, our usual understanding is, yes, there's a body, here's the body, and I have a mind, we all feel we have minds. So mind is somewhere here. But Vivekananda says, no. Either you see the reality in physical terms, in which case you are a body. Or if you appreciate mind, if you think in from mental terms, then you're thinking of the universe and yourself in terms of mind. And then there is a higher realization as Atman, as consciousness. And that is very interesting, because the problem that the hard problem of consciousness, the problem that neuroscientists are having is in trying to correlate or not correlate, in trying to find a causality between brain and mind. Correlation they have found. Correlation is not causation. How is the brain producing the mind? No way of finding out. Anyway, so these are some of the issues. Will they ever find out? To some extent, there will be progress. I think even a theory of mind will emerge eventually. But consciousness, because it cannot never be objectified. So until science expands its parameters, a new paradigm of science itself emerges. Until that time, it's difficult. I will leave it at that in a cautious note. Yes.
Pranam Swamiji, my name is Naveen. You suggested that renunciation is the quality that turns the pursuit of a sadhaka from lower religion to higher religion.
Correct.
That you called as spirituality.
Yes.
In the olden days, our masters have set up the varnashrama dharma of brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha and sannyasa.
Yes.
So in some sense, the renunciation ought to happen in the later stages of life towards vanaprastha and towards sannyasa in the olden days. And now with the advent of the internet, many of us, the grihasthas, in our age group of 30s and 40s with children and all, we have listened to hundreds of hours of YouTube and this Vedanta.
Yes.
So we are steeped in these ideas, but the problems of the household are real. And we want to progress towards spirituality in a faster manner, and appears like we got stuck with the frictions of everyday life, and you know the goal is there. So that's the
Right, I get your question. Right, it's a good point. But remember, this progress from a student life to a household life to a forest dweller to a monastic life, this is not as neat and geometric as it seems to be, the way it was sketched out. Notice, Vedanta was taught by Krishna to Arjuna in the battlefield. Right? Krishna is a householder. Arjuna is a householder. And the place is not an ashram or a temple or a meditation retreat. It's in the middle of a battlefield, one of the worst places that of a human endeavor. So that means spirituality, Vedanta, is useful for everybody. It's useful for everybody. It does this renunciation we're talking about is an internal attitude. It does not literally consist on throwing off everything and walking away into a forest or a mountain. It does not literally consist on putting on, as somebody pointed out, why are you wearing an orange bathrobe? So it does not consist in that. It consists in this internal change that I am a spiritual seeker. My goal is enlightenment. Just like their goal was enlightenment, the Buddha's goal is enlightenment, my goal is enlightenment, God realization, and that's a goal each one of us can, should, and ultimately must have. So it doesn't matter whether you are in the householder life. In that life itself, there are innumerable opportunities, many more opportunities for practice than if you sit on top of a mountain. So it is useful in householder life. That's the answer. Gentleman there.
Pranam Swamiji, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence and wisdom. As Shikhaji mentioned earlier, you have affected a lot, millions of people across the globe with your wisdom. My question here is, with a couple of nuggets that were discussed today, we understand that this is hologram or an unreal world. The realities are consciousness, and this is just an appearance. It's not real if we just understand that, especially your teachings from Ashtavakra Gita and stuff like that, that we need to just abandon this as poison. But when the things affect in reality, especially the ones that we feel they are loved ones, they have a different journey. We know that the consciousness has gone through different bodies and different experiences in their past lives, and that embedded consciousness.
Wait, just let me stop you right there. You said that we hear all this and we realize all of this world, body, mind, life, these are appearances, and consciousness is the reality. That's number one, you said, statement. Notice the second statement which you said. So consciousness has gone through many lives and these bodies and minds. It contradicts the first statement. Right. So this idea, this realization that the world is an appearance, this is the final understanding. This is the final understanding. Don't try to. I often say that if your rich uncle gives you a Ferrari, don't take it out for a spin in the streets of Portland if you don't have a driving license. So first learn to drive it in a parking lot and then take it out. Vedanta is like that Ferrari. Don't immediately read Ashtavakra and say, so the world is not real, and tell your boss and your wife and kid, you're not real. They will very soon show you that they're very, very real. So, in Vedanta, I always say, people ask, what's the practice, what do I do? If you ask a teacher of Vedanta, like a Pandit, if you ask, what do I do? I have understood what you've said, now what do I do? The teacher will tell you haven't understood. That question itself wouldn't come if I had understood. What do I do means, you're telling me it's not real, and I sort of take it as a mantra, it's not real, but I fully think it's real and I feel it's real. So there's a big contradiction. Right. So in Vedanta, the thing is, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. At no point is he saying that go out and do something with it right now. It is a huge shift in our paradigm, in our understanding of ourselves and the world, the way we see ourselves and the world. Once that shift happens, what you will do will follow automatically. When we consider the world to be real and this world body to be real, you don't need to be told, you have to breathe, you have to eat, you have to take care of the body. No, it's natural to us, because we consider this to be the only reality. So, in Vedanta, study it, listen to it, and begin to try to understand what is meant by being consciousness. What is meant by being an appearance in consciousness? In what sense is something real? In what sense is unreal? What is your definition of reality? So unless we decide what is the criterion of reality. Suppose you see something. So would that be real? Suppose you can touch something. Would that be real? Suppose something works, there is water and I drink that water and my thirst is quenched. Would that water be real? In Vedantic terms, nama, rupa, vyavahara, name and form and use. If all of these are there, would you consider that to be reality? In that case, the world is real, according to Vedanta. So Vedantic definition of reality is badha, sublation, the correction. This is not a snake, this is a rope. Though it looked like a snake, form, it was called a snake, name, it seemed to behave threatening like a snake, behavior, transaction, all of that was there, but suddenly we had this moment of correction. This is not a snake, this is a rope. In that case, the snake was false. In the dreams, so I'll give you an example of what I'm trying to say. When you say something is false, the first thing that you do in philosophy is ask, what is your criterion, what is your definition of reality and falsity? So for example, an ancient debate. The Buddhists, nearly 2,000 years ago, they had a criterion of reality. The criterion of reality is artha kriyakaritvam satyatvam. If a thing works, it's real. If a thing works as expected, it's real. So, the water in the mirage is not water, because when you went up there, you couldn't touch it, it wasn't wet, you couldn't drink it, it won't quench your thirst, hence it didn't behave the way water should behave, hence it's not real. Practical efficacy is the truth, is the criterion of reality. That's one definition. And they did it nearly 2,000 years ago. And that's the definition used by William James, Charles Peirce in the most modern form of American philosophy, pragmatism. If it works, they call it a cash value philosophy. So, if it works, it's real. That's a very American spirit. Vedanta says, nope, your definition doesn't work. Why? So, for example, there is a glass of water and you feel thirsty and you drink that water and it quenches your thirst. So it worked as expected. So it's real. The Buddhist would say, yeah, it's real. Next moment, suppose you wake up from a dream and you realize, oh, that water and the drinking the water and the quenching of thirst, the whole thing was a dream. Then was that water real? No. So it was corrected. In Sanskrit, it's called badha. It was corrected. It was falsified. If anything is falsifiable, it's not real. That's the Vedantic definition of reality. I won't go deeper into it, there's no time, but question in your mind will be, okay, wise guy, then tell us what's real. What's the only thing that cannot be doubted, which cannot be falsified? Only thing. Only one thing is there which cannot be falsified, which cannot be doubted. Doubted means, is it real or not? This question cannot be asked. Yourself, but which self is that? Is the body or... You can doubt the existence of the body because it might be a dream and you wake up, this body was not there, I was sleeping in the bed. So, only one thing can be doubted, cannot be doubted. Yourself as consciousness, as awareness, that cannot be doubted. That's not falsifiable. But that's your homework. Why is consciousness not falsifiable? To falsify anything, you need consciousness. But to falsify consciousness, you need consciousness. Consciousness has to be there. So consciousness cannot be falsified. Think about it. Anyway, so we have really run out of time. One final question. Okay, from this side, I think, right? With apologies to the others who couldn't ask their questions. Yes, please go ahead and ask your question.
Pranam Pujya Swamiji. You, in the last couple of minutes, you mentioned like, we know if someone tells us it's a silly thing, we understand it. But when we do it, it's the same mistake we do. You answered like we should do Shravan Manan Nididhyasana.
Yes.
When we do Shravan Manan Nididhyasana, when we look into our life, we see we are making a lot of mistake.
Yes.
More we understand, the more mistake we see. How do I make sure I don't dishearten myself when in this journey I see more and more mistakes? So when I saw 1 year back, I did not see that much mistake, but now I see much.
True.
How
That's
do
a
you
sign of spiritual progress. It's a sign of a sensitive mind to begin to see the error of our own ways. Why would you be disheartened? You are the Atman, you are Brahman, you are the reality of this entire universe, you are that one existence appearing as many. What would dishearten you? Now, knowing that you are this one existence appearing as many, this particular appearance, this personality, what's your name?
Khanjan.
Yes, so this particular appearance, this personality, this is one appearance. Now your goal would be to perfect this one appearance as far as possible, to remove the moral, emotional, other problems as far as possible. What Vivekananda called in positive terms the manifestation of the divinity already within us. So you have this one existence appearing as many. Now what? What do you do now? You feel it, you read about it, you begin to see it as a fact, and then it becomes expressed in language, in action. So what becomes first clear here, and it comes into feeling, and then is expressed in our life itself. So the manifestation of the divinity within us. Vivekananda put it this way: my goal in life can be put in a few words. It is to preach unto humanity their inner divinity and how to make it manifest in every movement of life. So what you are becoming aware of is, mistake is what? I am not manifesting my divinity. I am doing just the opposite. So we will try to correct it. As we try to correct it, you will find resistance. Resistance from the body, resistance from the mind, you will find resistance. Resistance is because of past inertia, of past conditioning. This is sadhana. This is the difficult sadhana. Here, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, raja yoga will all be very useful. Far easier to correct your own errors if I have a selfless attitude. I don't want anything for myself. So it is easy to correct my own issues. I have deep devotion to God. I'm not grasping towards the world or people. Then it's easy to correct myself. I have a very still and quiet mind. Much easier to control and correct myself. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
One curious fact present in the midst of all our joys and sorrows, difficulties and struggles, is that we are surely journeying toward freedom, says Swami Vivekananda. Thank you very much, Swami, for engaging in the Q&A session, and for our friends who have asked questions or thought of a question. We got to as many as we could, and we thank you. And before we conclude, I'll tell you about one more opportunity that you all have to hear from Swami while he's in Portland. But before we get to those final concluding remarks, I'd like to invite Swami Devotional of the Vedanta Society of Portland to share our appreciation and vote of thanks. Swami Devotional.
मंगलम देशिकेन्द्राय यमिनां चक्रवर्तिने पराशक्ति स्वरूपिण्यै देव्यै मात्रे च मंगलम. Dear devotees and friends, I am concluding today's program with the excerpts of Swami Vivekananda on this lecture, One Existence Appearing as Many. As Swamiji said, it was delivered on 1896, that is 29th January 1896. Let it go, I am not the body. That is the way of the Advaita Jnani. His meditation, therefore, is the most difficult one, the negative. He denies everything, and what is left is the self. That is one existence. This is the most analytical way. Bhakta says, the Lord has given me this body that I may safely cross the ocean of life, and I must cherish it until the journey is accomplished. The yogi, Raja Yogi, says, I must be careful of the body so that I may go on steadily and finally attain liberation. Swami Vivekananda concludes this lecture as follows. The moment you get rid of the idea that you are the body, you do not see the world at all. It vanishes forever. The jnani seeks to tear himself away from this bondage of matter by the force of intellectual conviction. This is the negative way. The neti, not this, not this. So on behalf of Vedanta Society of Portland, I humbly salute and offer my sincere gratitude to revered Swami Sarvapriyananda ji, Minister in charge of the Vedanta Center of New York, for enlightening all of us today. We are ever grateful to you, Swami ji. Also, I offer my sincere gratitude and salutations to revered Swami Chandrasekharananda ji and to you all for your focused participation in today's event. Also, I thank Balaji Temple management and technical team for providing all their services and amenities to make this event a great success. May Holy Trio bless us all and always guide us towards our spiritual progress. I wish you all a safe journey and good night. We conclude with Lokaha Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Sri Guru Maharaj Ji ki Jai. Jai Mahamai ki Jai. Jai Swami Ji Maharaj Ji ki Jai. Susi.
Not only is Vedanta the highest philosophy in the world, but it is also the greatest poem. Swami Vivekananda. Thank you again, everyone, for being a part of today's very special event. There is another opportunity to hear from Swami Sarvapriyananda. He'll be giving a talk on Monday, October 9th at the Portland Hindu Temple that begins at 6:30 p.m. And his topic will be The Enlightened Life, based on Gita Chapter 2. You can get your free ticket by visiting sarvapriyanandaintigard.eventbrite.com. We also invite you to stay connected with us, whether you're a longtime devotee or this is your first time visiting a Vedanta event. You can visit us online at vedanta-portland.org to learn about our classes, events, and activities. You can also sign up in the lobby to give your email address and check our signs in the bookstore to learn more about membership. If you did have a chance today to purchase a book from the bookstore and you'd like Swami Sarvapriyananda to sign your book, we'll shortly begin that process. And if you would like to make a purchase and you haven't yet, I hear there are still some people in the bookstore that would be happy to help you now. So with that, what we'll be doing for the book signing is I'll invite you to make a line all the way here at the edge, and you may have seen me walking up these small stairs. And you'll be invited to walk on stage to Swamiji. We'll ask 3 people at a time to come across the stage. I'll help you exit off. You'll exit in a different way than you enter. And with that, thank you very much. Good night to everyone who is moving to the next portion of their evening, and we'll look forward to speaking with those who are having their books signed. Please only say your name and one book only, and then kindly move out of line to allow everyone an opportunity. Thank you.